Cypher?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good evening. No, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good night. Why
Good
is
night.
this our thing?
It's a new thing now. This is amazing. We have Cool G Rap on Juan Epstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got DecRo in the building on Juan Epstein.
What up?
We'll get to DecRo in a minute and the
Yeah.
project
No.
that Cool G Rap and DecRo are doing.
When I tell you I got necro stories from back in the day.
Through DJ Riz?
Yes.
All right. So we'll get there.
His own experiences.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a lot. So we're going to get there.
Hold up, necro.
G Rap, how are you?
I'm good, baby. How you, man?
I mean, we are honored and blessed to have you here today. This is a moment for Juan Epstein.
Honored to be here. Thanks, man. Much appreciated.
Where do we start with this guy, Cypher? Where do you start with a no-question top 10 MC of all time? Many have him top 5. Some people have him number 1. There aren't many people that you can say are definitive, no questions asked, top 10 MCs of all time.
Well, I was just telling him right before we started recording that his diehard fans are like die harder than other people's diehard fans. Like for some reason, when people are like a G-Rap fan, it's like extra.
What did you at some point did you realize that you were having an effect on the game that was deeper than a lot of people's?
I mean, it wouldn't be till like more than a decade after the fact.
Right.
So into the 90s, well, until the late 90s.
No, like
Yeah, late
The
90s.
late 90s.
Exactly. Yeah, 98, 99.
So right before you put out before the Raucous situation.
Before the Raucous situation is what led up to the Raucous situation.
Right.
I started to really realize that by the request to do so many features with so many different artists. You know, whether they was new coming out at around that time, like Nori, Pun. You know what I mean? So that's when it really started to like really take effect and dawn on me like I hold a lot of weight with true lyricists.
yeah.
You are the person who I would say became like the rapper's rapper, right? I mean, like anytime you're talking to an MC who you know is really about it, it's like safe that you can mention G-Rap and they're gonna be like, yeah, of course. Have you ever gotten to bump into any of the recently any of the biggest dudes, the Hoves or the Eminems or any of those guys, and have words with them?
Not recent. The most recent connection I made with somebody at that status was Rick Ross in 2010.
So what happened before we go back? Let's just start there since we're there.
Well, yeah, because on our Ross podcast, we touched on that. So let's find the other side of it.
Yeah, Ross said he wanted to work with you. You were like his hero in rap. He had only positive things to say about you, but basically said he came down. We started working together. It was kind of new for him in the branching out period of his career before he kind of became the mogul. And he said it just kind of didn't work out. Like he just didn't really figure out how to do it. How would you describe the relationship with Ross and what happened back in 2010?
Pretty much similar to what the relationship was. Very much a mutual respect. I got a lot of respect for Ross, you know, for his craft, what he do. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of the one of the dudes of this time that's keeping it lyrical. You know what I mean? And his wordplay is like efficient, like it's like top 10, top notch. You know what I mean? So.
And you all sounded great together on the records you did together. It actually sounded very logical. It worked.
Oh yeah, because you know that's like right in the same vein. You know what I mean? Like. G-Rap and Rick Ross, that's like easy math.
So why didn't it go? So what happened? What do you think stopped it from you?
Was he
signing
trying
with
to
them?
sign you?
Yeah, he was trying to sign me. No, and I think it was just a situation. Ross was at that time just starting to really put Maybach together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And me, I was going through situations in my personal life where it was more complicated than just doing a deal. You know what I'm saying? I had baggage and shit like that. You know what
Your
I
own
mean?
personal shit.
Exactly.
Baggage.
You know what I mean? So it just kind of didn't work out. You know, if it would have if I would have signed to Ross at the time, I wouldn't have been able to promote like I would have wanted to promote. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on some lay low under the radar shit.
Got it. You wouldn't have wanted to be out there like that.
Couldn't
Couldn't be over the radar like that. But now you can be.
I'm good now. I'm good money.
You feel clean now.
Beautiful. You want to call Ross back up? You know what I mean?
And yeah, no, exactly.
I don't think that's a far.
I don't think that's far.
I think that could happen.
I think that could happen. I think Ross is a pretty real dude.
Now he's got the whole structure that Maybach is moving like.
Yeah, he's very situated now.
Do you ever feel, you're a great person to ask, like someone who has been such an influence on so many people, but did not get to live the same financial rewards as some of these new guys. How do you feel about being an artist in that spot? I mean, we always talk to artists about the other side, but in your position, are you just happy for other artists? Is there any bitterness that you didn't kind of get all the fruits of it?
It's not no bitterness at all. You know what I'm saying? I understand why things unfolded the way they did for me, because my main ambition was to be one of the best lyrically. That was my main driving force. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, you know what I'm saying, to many, many years and over decades, like after the fact. You know what I'm saying? That was always my biggest thing.
You didn't put your attention on to flashy videos or hooks or hit songs. You put your efforts into lyrics and being the illest lyrics.
And what came from the heart is just, always loved the most lyrical MCs. You know what I mean? Like my heroes was Melly Mel, Kumo D, my man Silver Fox for Fantasy 3, Grandmaster Cash. You know what I'm saying? People that I felt like had. You know what I'm saying? They brought a lot to the game as far as lyrics, wittiness, flows.
But what do you have? What happens if you listen to one of those records now? It's like
do you still hear the inspiration? Because we hear you say that, and it almost makes us laugh. Because G-Rap's 50 times better than any of those. It's funny how the game evolves, right?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have existed without them, the same way Eminem couldn't exist without you.
Everywhere.
I know.
Is that like like the illest lyric to you? Like
when you were a kid, that sounded crazy lyrical to you? Because when we hear it, we're comparing it to you, and we're like, it doesn't sound that crazy. You know what I'm saying?
What, you talking about?
Like the early stuff, the stuff you mentioned from the early 80s. Like when you hear that now, the early 80s stuff, do you still hear it as like inspirational, or now does it sound simple in retrospect?
Oh, well, if you're comparing it to right now, of course. You know what I mean? It's like once me, Kane, Rakim, KRS-One came in the game, it's like
that shit
took
flipped
it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that was the roots of it was Melly Mel, Kumo D, Melly Mel for being intelligent when he raps, you know what I'm saying? Like he don't sound like a idiot and the fast flows, and Melly Mel brought like some of that street appeal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you took it to a whole
different level.
You took it to a different level. Now, do you consider you're not the first? I guess. I mean, when you think about it, NWA was already out when your first record came out. You dropped in '89, right?
Well, I came out 86 first single.
First single was all the way back.
What was that?
It's a demo. I'm Fly on the B-side.
It's a demo was 86.
Yeah.
But the album didn't come out till 89 or 88. But It's a Demo actually wasn't really indicative of where you were going to go completely, because, it's almost like there are two levels to G-Rap. I think about you in the late 80s as Juice Crew, G-Rap, like still somewhat friendly, although lyrically hard, before you went into straight up crime sagas.
Even Road to the Riches, like what you're talking about is like getting money and street shit, but it was like over like a little bit of a happier beat, little up-tempo piano-y, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, did you know you were...
Billy Joe sample is happy?
Not happy, not compared to like...
Chicago gangster to me.
Yeah, but when you get into your 90s shit, like...
You went hard.
Yeah, it was like...
Like, it was almost... I really think of listening to your music from the early 90s as almost like watching a Martin Scorsese film. You know what I'm saying? I think artistically it's a similar thing. So let's start from the beginning, though, with your hip-hop career. Where did it start? Where did the rap, the Cool G rap story begin?
My first brush with hip-hop, I was like 9. I started writing rhymes, like, my own stuff and not regurgitating what I hear the MCs in the park saying, yes, yes, y'all, and all that, about 13. And I'd say like about around age 14, 15, I really started.
In Corona?
Yeah, Corona, Queens.
What was the park situation there? What was popping like out in the streets in Corona?
99th Street Park, 143 Park, parks in East Elmhurst, but no, I was more, because I moved to Northern Boulevard, like 98th and Northern, so 99th Street Park was like right around the corner for me. So that's the park that hip hop really.
Who was out there? Anyone who turned out like any other like legends out there?
Disco Twins. Probably some other cats you wouldn't even know if I said their names right now. You know what I mean?
Old
DJ
Queens
Smalls. Yeah, Queens, yeah. A lot of Queens
DJ
cats.
Smalls, he was an Around the Way cat.
I think Smalls was from Astoria, Queens, something like that. But he used to move all around Queens in general. You know what I'm saying? So these are the cats that was coming out to the parks.
Was Corona like? Was there like a lot of Spanish people back then?
It was segregated back then. You know,
Really?
up on the Boulevard Strip, that's where most of the blacks was.
Right.
But once you cross like 34th Avenue down to 37th Avenue,
Yeah, like Roosevelt around there.
Roosevelt Junction Boulevard and all that.
Spanish.
It was more, yeah. That was the Hispanic area.
Yeah.
So you were rapping in the park?
No, I wasn't rapping yet. I was still listening to the older dudes do it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't come out till like maybe 3 years later. This is after me doing my little street things and all that. And then,
Oh, so you were in the street first
yeah, I was in the streets first.
as a kid. How heavy were you in the street?
I mean, I was getting my little paper. I wasn't no kingpin, you know what I mean? But I was getting my paper for 16 years old, you know what I mean? Making my little grand 1,500 a day.
That's not bad, G-Rap. I'd be happy with that right now, and I'm 34. Can I go back? Who do you still know in the park in Corona? Simon, I need a side hustle. So at this point, are you thinking I'm gonna be a rapper at some point, or were you just thinking I'm doing the streets, I'm gonna make this money?
Oh, no, I knew the street thing was temporary because the rap thing was in my heart. So as soon as my man Eric B plugged me with my man Polo.
So how did you know Eric B? Let's start there.
Oh, me and Eric B's brother, Aunt Live, used to be real tight back in these times. You know what I mean? And then they came out with Eric B for president, and it was the hottest thing that happened to hip hop at the time.
So you just happened to know.
Live was Kane's road manager.
Yeah, he was Kane's road manager too at one point.
So you just happened to know the brother of the dude who became one of the most important dudes in hip hop.
Absolutely.
And then you wanted to start working on a record, and Eric B introduced you to Marley?
No, Eric B introduced me to Polo.
To Polo.
Yeah, because being around Ant, you know what I'm saying, me and Eric got to know each other, you know what I'm saying, and Eric knew, I was doing my little rap thing.
Did Eric B ever talk, or did he just speak with facial expression?
I was going to say the same thing. Did Eric B talk back then?
Yeah, you talk.
Out loud. Man. So he recommends Polo. And what was Polo doing at the time? Just DJing around the way also?
Polo was one of the DJs around the way too. And Polo's name was ringing bells throughout Corona. Polo already had put out a record with another rapper by the name of Frost.
You know, I have to be honest, I always preferred Frost and Polo. I mean, G-Rap and Polo. So he was doing his little thing, and you were like, nah, let's... Did people know you were good right away? Like, did Eric B think you were good?
The neighborhood, I had a reputation in the neighborhood for being good, for being nice.
Same name? G-Rap? Cool G-Rap?
It was G at the time, or yeah, nah, it was Cool G Rap. Yeah.
And is G for genius?
G for genius.
Okay.
Cool genius.
Cool
rap.
genius rap.
You and Jizza never had beef? He never tried to get you over the genius name? Two geniuses? So you start messing with Polo, and where does Marley come into play?
Polo introduced me to Marley. Polo and Marley used to go to high school together and all that, so they real tight to this day.
Really?
Absolutely.
Are you and Polo tight to this day?
Yeah, that's my homie for life.
For life?
Yeah. Even when I went solo and all that, it was never because of no discrepancy or nothing like that between me and Polo. It was just that, two grown men can't eat off the same plate forever. You know what I mean? So,
What did he do in the years when you went solo? Was he still doing music?
He did a few things. I know he connected with y'all was just talking about porn.
Yeah, I was gonna
connected
say.
with my man Ron Jeremy and all
I was about
that.
to say he did a porn thing, right?
Yeah.
What, producing? Or was he in there slaying these
Oh.
chicks?
Yeah, Polo was messing with somebody with the Madam up at the Bunny Ranch and all that out in
Yeah.
Vegas.
He did
on
all
the-
right.
Nevada.
He was in that show, The Cat House.
He was?
Yeah, he's in a couple episodes.
Polo is?
Yeah.
How do you know? I didn't know that.
I knew it would come up. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I
And
didn't
then the dude who owns it,
He's been on the show before.
yeah, I forgot the dude's name.
Who
He's
runs
like,
the
yeah,
bunny
come. He's like, come to the
Heavyset
the
dude
bunny.
we
Yeah,
talking
come to the bunny ranch. You hang with Polo.
So, all right, so you link up with Marley, and at this point, this is post Eric B for president.
Yeah, like how big is Marley on the radio at the time?
Marley's on the radio, right?
Marley's on the radio, yeah. Marley's doing it. Juice Crew's already doing it at this time with Shan, Shantae, and Biz.
Oh
So you get online. You're basically or were you the youngest of the crew?
no, Ace was right.
Well, at this time, Ace wasn't around yet.
Oh,
You were
okay.
pre-Ace, so Ace was the last one to come in, at least from the symphony
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Damn it! I was gonna bring my Symphony 45 for Jejf to sign. So what does Marley like give you a plan? Like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna feature you on a record. I'm gonna build you
Nobody
up.
talked to me about nothing. I just went to Marley's house, cut It's a Demo on fly, and all of a sudden, nobody ever said, yo, you want to be with us? You want to be with the Juice Crew? Yo, Fly Tyler, like, yo, G, you want me to manage you? I was just there. Like, yeah, it's just like it just happened. You know what I mean? Like, nobody said nothing. I'm just a member of the Juice Crew. Nobody talked to me about nothing. And I wasn't going to argue against it.
Against his back.
Well, why argue it? The best thing is, I love that the idea for It's a Demo. It's a Demo essentially was a demo.
Was a demo. I laid it down, meaning for it to be a demo.
You talk about reality rap. You were just like, literally, it's a demo, and that actually worked. And did It's a Demo ring off right away, or did it sit around for a little bit?
Nah, it was hot. Like soon as Marley started playing it on Mr. Magic show, it just caught fire. Shit ignited.
And did your life change right away?
Kinda, not drastically. The drastic change wouldn't come to after the album dropped and following the symphony video and symphony song and all that, and then it was like a major difference. You know, in the response I would get just being out in public and all that.
Talk closer to the mic.
Oh, okay.
Shit,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I did feel some sort of accomplishment with this.
Well, how many times did it play? It would only play like Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, just weekend, right?
Yeah,
But the
when
weekend
people would
shows were
tape
so
it.
big then.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
people would
you didn't
tape
even
'em.
need the day-to-day rotation play back in that time. I mean, Mr. Magic was so hot too. It's like, whatever played on that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as the record was hot.
So people in your hood knew it was you right away off top, like.
Yeah. Because I was playing the demo for people out in the box and on the block and all that. Niggas was rocking to it then.
So after the success of it, does then Marley say, okay, here's what we're going to do? Or did it still just kind of, you kept floating?
It just kept floating.
And then what year did the symphony come out? 87? 88?
87, 88, yeah, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
before your album? Symphony was before your album?
Came out right before my album.
Oh, so that was a good setup. Good setup.
Did your album come before or after Master Ace's album? Take a look around.
I think it came before.
So right, but close to the same time, right? And after everyone else had already dropped albums.
Right.
Yeah, Kane
Has
was
it been
probably on
out?
his second
And Kane
album.
dropped
Kane was
before me.
88.
Yeah, Kane dropped before me.
Yeah, along
First one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Long than the Kane was 88. I think he may have dropped his second one in 89 or 90. So along with
Kane was 86, no?
88.
First album.
Mm-hmm. Long Live the Cane's 88. Because I know when people ever do their things about those great years, and everyone has 88, Long Live the Cane's one of them. I know, sometimes I feel like it happened later than you thought, especially considering Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince dropped He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper in 87, which always sort of surprises me that was kind of before a lot of the classic
that
rap
makes
albums
sense, though.
that came out. So at this point, are you already becoming friends, though, so you obviously know Rakim.
Yeah.
What was Rakim like in those days? Was he aware of his level from early on? Like, did he carry himself like that?
Rakim knew what it was.
There was no question that he was the god.
He knew he was royalty.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. I mean, I could sense that in this persona and character. Even though he never act like stuck up or nothing like that. He was always down to earth and real cool. You know what I'm saying? But he knew who Rakim was to the game at this point.
But you knew him because of through Eric B and stuff,
Right.
and he was never offered to be Juice Crew or be down to Juice Crew. Or...
I'm not sure if he was offered to be Juice Crew.
Oh, they didn't even offer you. So how would you know if he was?
Yeah, it doesn't sound. He didn't need to wait around. Like he was already out of here.
Yeah.
Like what was I guess you would think they would have been wanted, but maybe Marley didn't even do it that way. We're gonna
I don't think Marley had control over that situation. That was
Fly Tie.
Yeah, Fly Tie. None of them. They was just working with Marley for production, but
for
had
Rakim.
no influence over what they did business wise.
Well, interesting. We're gonna get Marley's here every Friday. I think. So we're gonna have Marley come in and do one of these. Are you still tight with Marley?
Marley's my dude for life.
So are you completely out of the street at this point? You're not getting into any mischief?
Soon. I ain't gonna say I was out of the street because I was still connected to the street. But as far as me being in the street doing dirt, like before I started, before I went to Marley house and all that, no, I wasn't doing that no more. Like soon as I went to Marley studio the first time, I left the block alone because I got what I wanted.
And you knew you had a chance. So what do you do though day to day when you're sitting there waiting? You only have one record out. Were you just like living at home? Did you get a job? What did you do?
I was living with my mom's back then. You know what I mean? Still living with my mom's, but barely ever home. You know what I mean?
Just running around?
Yeah, I'm.
How old were you?
6 part-time, and you know what I mean? I'm like 16. No, when demo dropped, I was 18.
So you was out of school. Did you graduated? Didn't really graduate.
Dropped out, but I got my GED so I could shut my mom's up.
Oh, right at that time.
You got it back then?
Yeah.
Cool GED rap.
Yeah, I got it at 17.
Cool GED rap?
There you go.
Who knew? So is your mom freaking out? Like, yo, you get a job. Yeah. Was she excited that your song was on the radio? Did she believe?
She didn't believe at first. When I started messing up in high school and talking, I want to be a rap star shit, she wanted to knock my head off. But a couple of years later, I got records on the radio. I'm running around with this crew of up-and-coming stars.
Doing shows,
touring, going to Europe.
Back then?
Yeah. When I only had It's a Demo, yeah.
Going to London back then with like other Juice Crew people and stuff?
Yep.
Shit.
And the whole Juice Crew.
Yeah, did you guys do Westwood back then?
We did Westwood back then.
See? Syph and I were trying to guess how old Westwood was. Westwood was already on when y'all went out there in like 87, right?
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. So at what point did you really start doing it? Like when the album came out, did you start making legit money? I mean, honestly, let's keep it totally real. Was there ever a time when the money was like great, or was it always like pretty good and you were cool with how it was? Like, was it ever like you had tons of extra money to spend?
No. I say no because not to that level. You know what I'm saying? Not to the level of the way dudes is doing it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now it's ridiculous.
I mean, but that's the part that really is bugged out though too, because there are cats, and it's because of the legwork that all you guys did. There are guys now who are able on their first album. I know guys right now, and I'm talking about deserving guys. Let's start with the ones who are deserving, who are actually good, right? Like, even if you were to take a Schoolboy Q, Q's only put out a couple of, they're basically albums. They're called mixtapes, but they're really albums. But he hasn't come out with a major label debut.
He had an album, though. A real album.
It was a real album, but it was only on the indie. It was only through TDE.
Right,
it wasn't TDE Interscope or anything.
Right, okay.
So, but it's done well, and he's amazing. He's dope. But, guys like him, he's probably making 10 G's a show, 10 stacks like that, pre his first album.
Oh yeah,
and
but he's down with the crew.
So
That's
he's
the crew right now.
So he's a deserving one. But then there are tons of non-deserving ones who are already out the gate because they have a single getting 10, 15 G's a night. And for you guys, in 1988, if I wanted to book Masta Ace and Kool G Rap for a show, what do you think you guys would be charging in 88?
In 88, You'll probably be under you'll be under $5,000.
Under $5,000, right?
Both.
For both. For the pair. Syfe, we could have a killer party.
That's crazy.
$5,000.
I would have thought you was gonna say like 20 G's.
No.
Well, think about it. How much? Because the promoters weren't. Who was making enough money? Like the pie, the general pot wasn't big enough.
What was the performance? Like clubs?
Yeah,
Like
clubs.
Latin Quarter or something like that? Or?
They book enough of us together. Like, say if it's me, Ace, and the King Show or something like that. I'm just giving you
Yeah.
like an idea.
Yeah.
Then you'll do like a theater, like you'll do like small theaters.
Like the Apollo or
Yeah,
something.
Apollo, something. Yes, something similar. Apollo
Yeah.
Beacon Theater.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then it would be, so let's say y'all
5,000
three.
seaters.
So let's say y'all three, let's say it's $10,000. Or maybe a little more. Kane, G-Rap, and Ace. $10,000. Right? So that's you split that 3 ways.
Well,
Plus-
Kane might have been getting a little more because Kane went gold.
Okay. So what about, and then how did you split it with Polo?
Well, a lot more. To correct myself.
Yeah.
How would I split it with Polo?
Like, was it 50-50 or was he paid as a DJ? Like, because his name's on the album.
That is interesting.
no
You didn't
doubt.
have the regular DJ relationship because he was part of the
He's
group.
in the group.
So you go 50-50 with G-Rap? Or, I mean, with Polo?
We did the
60-40.
percentage split going according to the work put in. You know what I mean? That's how I arranged the percentage split.
And then who else ate off of that? You had a manager?
Had a manager. Fly Tie was the manager.
Oh, Fly Tie was a Oh, woof. So you left with about like $83. You left-
We hardly ever paid Fly Tie, though. We never paid Fly Tie.
no?
Well, there's worse things. You could not get paid at all. That's solid. What do you think's the best album of what you've done?
Wow, that's
G-Rap, all G-Rap?
The G-Rap albums.
it's pretty hard, man. I can't single out one.
You don't have a baby that you go, this is the one that.
Man, Wanted Dead or Alive, I love that album a lot.
That's
My
your
second
first,
album,
right? That's your
second.
Road to
What's the
Riches.
first? Oh, Road Richard. Wanted Dead or Alive. What's on there? What's the like?
That's-
the big,
School is Back, Streets in New York,
oh yeah, Streets. Yeah,
Walk Like Sex.
Yeah, that is a crazy album.
Yeah, that one's got a
Which
lot.
album is Rikers Island? That one?
Rikers Island, I think they put that on
It was
Road to
on
the
Wanted
Riches
Dead or
album.
Alive, though, I think.
what?
They
Yeah,
added
yeah. You're right.
Talking about
They
And a
added it on
bonus.
there on the second album.
Oh, so it came out probably like just a record, and then they put it on that
Yeah,
album.
they just threw it on there as an extra or something.
That record is insane.
Who produced most of your albums?
Marley did. Well, Marley did the first album.
Back to the whole thing?
I mean, I was telling Marley, yo, loop this with that, loop that with this.
A lot of people say that.
Because I think
No, I don't think he has shame in it. I think he was open to collaborations.
people was coming with good ideas.
Yeah, you had dope
Kane was
samples,
one
but
of
he
them.
he chopped them and made them right.
Yeah. It was Marley's expertise. What
Yeah,
he knew
his drums
that
was
made
sick.
the track what it became.
Right, but you like, yo, I like this beat. I
Yeah,
want to loop this
exactly.
beat.
We came with the general idea. I didn't just come with the records like, yo, I just want to use this. I would have more input than that.
Right,
I would know exactly what horn loop to put with what and all that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But the way Marley would make something echo and just put the signature on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which one sold the most?
Believe 4, 5, 6.
Really?
Yeah, I believe 4, 5, 6. Because it had the machine behind 4, 5, 6 was more in place for G-Rap.
Like Epic, right?
That was Epic, right?
Yeah.
Epic Street.
Wait, what? 4, 5, 6 is incredible. But what's the other one I love?
I'll be honest. I've never listened to 456 like regularly.
4, 5, 6.
I played the
is
singles. I never had the full vinyls. So, like I never really sat with the whole album. That was It's a Shame. Whatchamacallit?
Right,
Fast Life.
Yeah.
Take him to war,
Take them to war.
Yeah.
executioner style.
Yeah, you gotta.
Crazy record.
I gotta listen to this whole.
What's the
album
one
through.
with the Godfather shit?
Oh, that was Roots of Evil. That's another one of my favorites right
That
there.
record is.
And to be honest, that's the record I had the most fun doing
Why?
because I got to get so cinematic with it. And to me, it
Yeah, that
just came
shit is
across like a
sick.
movie.
I can't even listen to that now. It's too ill.
It's too dark.
You can't. You'll throw up because you can't play that and then turn on the radio and hear Versace, Versace, Versace. It's too much of a clash. You'll be like, ah.
What happened to life? Did you when you worked with Nas, did you guys actually like get together and really work on that record?
Yeah, me and
on
Nas
Fast
was in
Life?
the studio.
And I mean, Nas must have just idolized you. I mean, what was that like? Did he, when you first met him, did he tell you, that he was a fan? Or was he on his cool? Was he already cool rapper?
He never said it like that, but I knew it was like that. You know what I mean? Because, when we connected, you know what I'm saying, we maintained the connection and everything. He was cool with me shopping his demos. I actually had him recording in my house to make demos on them, so I could shop them.
Wait, at the beginning, before Fast Life,
before Live at the Barbecue, or
Wait, what?
Or could have been right around the same exact time as Live at the Barbecue.
Hold up, rewind. So how did
Or
you?
Large Pro?
Well, Large Pro is the reason why I knew about Nas. Working on my second album with Large Pro, he was telling me about young cat from Queensbridge, like remind him of G-Rap, Rakim. Kid is nice, you know what I mean?
So while Large Pro was working with Nas, he basically sets you up with Nas.
Yeah.
Or y'all just started hanging out and you started checking him out.
Yeah.
He's probably what? It's like he's
And
probably
then,
17, 16,
he's a kid.
17.
And then Search came to my house one time when Nas was there. And
Aha!
yeah, me, Nas, I think Akinelli might have been there. And that's how Search became aware of Nas.
From coming by your house.
Did Large Pro say that?
I don't remember.
We
I
had
get too
we
many-
had an ill Large
Large
Pro.
Pro wasn't there, so he probably don't have no
Oh,
recollection.
Large Pro wasn't there that day.
Nah.
Crazy.
So you're just hanging out in 90-ish
Yeah.
with in a house in Queens, Cool G Rap, Nas, Akinelli, and then Search comes by and is like, yo, this kid's crazy.
Yep.
How did you know? You just knew Search from around the way?
Nah, I
rappers
didn't know
were
him.
cool
I knew
back
Search
then.
just from the business. Like bumping into him somewhere, exchange numbers. He happened to call me out the blue one night, and Nas is sitting. Me and Nas is up in my condo in Queens chilling, and he like, yo, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, just here chilling with a bunch of homies, and he like, yo, I'm gonna shoot through. You know what I mean? We had no prior close relationship or nothing like that. Search was a fan.
Did you know Nas was greatness back then?
I know, yeah. I knew he was special.
It was obvious.
Obvious to me. This when I shopped in the Def Jam and Kevin Lyles and them told me he sounded too much like a G-Rap. I was like, do y'all not hear the what distinguishes this kid to be unique? Like I know he's similar, but he has his own identity.
Did you already think from the beginning? Did you have an awareness and think, no, this guy can actually make more money than I can? This
I
guy,
would have never even thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying?
because you were actually trying to do lyrics and do it the right way.
Yeah, and I just got an appreciation for true lyricism so much. It's just that if I feel I see something the world needs to hear, I just want to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So you weren't thinking I could get a big payday if this kid pops.
nah. And this is why I never monopolized off the game like that, because that was never really my mind frame.
Someone wrote me yesterday. I said questions for G-Rap on Twitter, and said, so I just thought it was interesting. Maybe it's bullshit. I don't know, but it just was an interesting thought that someone put in my head. He wrote and said, ask him how he feels like about being the guy who got out of the way so other people, who basically allowed other people to make bread. That like you were a guy who never really sought the money or glory. You just did your job, added to the craft, and kind of helped facilitate other people. Do you think that's an accurate description? And if so, are you happy with that role?
I wouldn't say like I'm happy, like I glorify that. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what it is, and I accept it. You know what I mean? Like meaning like if G-Rap's contribution was the game to the game was to produce some of the members of Wu-Tang, a Nas, a Pun, Eminem or whoever else, you know what I'm saying? There's many others. We could sit here all day and go through names, but if that was G-Rap's contribution to the game, I felt like I did something really amazing for hip hop.
Did you work with Pun when you guys did that Executioner's record?
Me and Pun wasn't in the same studio. I think Pun was out of town, out of state, whatever, at the time, because he was on fire. You know what I mean?
Did you guys get to meet at all?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So and he was a huge fan.
Yeah.
Was he more forward about it? Because I think he was pretty outspoken about being a huge G-Rap fan.
I met Pun in one of Fat Joe's clothing store in the Bronx, and Pun got
550?
on his knee, kissed my ring and all that.
No. He kissed the ring.
Yeah, true story. That just show you how real of a dude Pun was, because Pun was a real goon. You know what I mean?
A real goon, and he got down and kissed the ring.
That's crazy.
I mean, and that's crazy because Pun is probably my favorite MC of all time. And he got down and kissed your ring. I mean, did you realize even in that time?
I ain't mad about that. Right?
What'd you say?
Not mad.
No, I think it's amazing. Because like I said, the same way you were like, you looked up to so-and-so, Pun, it's like I consider you and Pun to be different eras, and I can hear G-Rap in Pun. But for the era that I grew up in, I kind of was coming to be an adult when Pun was popping. And I mean, a lot of people give me a hard time when I rank him number one. They don't think the body of work is big enough. And I just think his natural gift for rhyming was kind of like unlike anyone I've ever heard before. And to know that,
phenomenal.
I mean, he was just, so to know that, that he had that affection for your music, I mean, that must be really touching for you, to know that this is a guy who many people consider the greatest and he considered you the greatest. I mean, that's...
That happens to probably so many people.
I wear that like a badge of honor. You know what I mean?
You ever met M?
Never met M.
Was G-Rap one of the people Eminem mentioned in that speech? Did he mention you in that speech when he won the Oscar for 8 Mile or one of those speeches, and he shouted out a whole bunch of rappers?
Shouted me in the Grammys. I do remember that.
Yeah,
It caught me. I was watching the Grammys that year, and it caught me off guard. Like, oh, okay.
yeah. He's. I will say, I think that's probably my favorite thing about.
Who were you with when that happened? Whoever you was with, did you tell him after that go get you some fucking ice cream? Like, oh shit, this nigga. Hey, yo, go get me a couple of ice cream or something, man.
Go ahead and have the fucking store, man. It's fucking G-Rap. That
was an honor for me because I thought M was. I thought he was crazy nice.
Yeah.
Who do you think's do you have anyone that you think is hands down the greatest MC of all time?
It's hard to put somebody in the number one spot.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You know what I mean? But there are.
Who are some that you know are also top 10? I'm assuming you have yourself top 10.
Of course, Nas, Rakim, Kane, KRS-One.
That's the Magic 5.
Jay-Z. I don't care how many people feel like he went mainstream or whatever now, but this dude was.
No, he's still top 10. There's no.
beast.
You still listen to him now and say the same thing?
I appreciate what he does. You know what
I mean, yeah. He makes big.
Even when he's not being super lyrical, I appreciate what he does as far as making a good record, a good song. You know what I mean? And he's doing what he has to do to maintain Jay-Z right now.
Hey Drew, if you're still listening, can you turn my headphones back on so I can keep an eye on the sound?
And to maintain being relevant still.
So that's I think 6 or 7.
Big, no big?
Yeah, you haven't mentioned Biggie?
Biggie was one of the best rappers to me, but I never put him with the
lyricist.
Yeah, because he was a good rapper to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
it's a difference. You say it's a difference.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But he was good though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Big is one of my favorites. You know what I mean?
What about M? Do you have M in top 10 or no?
Absolutely.
M's top 10.
Yeah, because he's a lyrical beast.
Pac
was a good rapper to me. Once again, you know what I mean?
Not top 10. I appreciate your honesty. I don't necessarily think that he's a top.
I know he's talking about the lyrics.
Well, that's what we need to get from him. He's cool G-Rap.
Yeah.
He's the definition of lyricism. So it's fascinating to hear. Do you have Pun up there?
Absolutely.
So Pun's a top 10 also. I think that gets us to like 8. You said Cool G-Rap, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Rakim,
Nas.
J, Pun, M.
It's 2
That's
more.
8. We have 8. Is there anyone else that jumps out at you? Who's another person? Here's one that other people that like to rappers. People love Black Thought. He's a name that gets thrown on quite a bit.
Black Thought too. Give a lot of credit to Black Thought.
He's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. But if I have to go with my favorites, then the two that would have to go in those last slots, which would be no argument to me in the hip hop community, would have to be Ice Cube and Scarface.
Woo! Jumped out, and had to snatch them up. Makes perfect sense.
And not meaning they come 8 or 9 or 10.
No, just the last two.
Yeah.
This was in no order.
Yeah, no order.
They just included in that top 10.
Ice Cube and
Scarface,
It's true.
fantastic. That is, you just, not surprisingly, coming from Cool G Rap, that is a very thorough and complete top 10. Obviously, the headline that people would be shocked about would be No Biggie. But, I mean, honestly, no matter what top 10 you do, someone gets cut out. Because the idea of having a top 10 without Cube or Face
This nigga got himself in his own list.
Of course he does. He's being realistic, goddammit.
He took a slot. He took his own slot.
What's he gonna do? Say not count G Rap? He'd sound like an idiot.
Well, I didn't say it in order, but if it was in order, 1 is, this guy.
Let's be clear. I've been recently thinking about Kane. Like a lot of times, I think about Kane in context with Jay-Z, right? Because there couldn't be Jay without Kane. Right. And you think about like what Kane. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kane lives a good life. Kane's still doing shows. Kane looks good. Doing well. There's no problems with Big Daddy Kane. Don't feel sorry for Big Daddy Kane. But you think about what he could have been in a different era.
Right.
Because he has the cool, he could have had the mainstream. I mean, I don't really know much about what Kane's like business acumen was or anything like that. But I always think about what life Kane would have been had his era not been 1988. Because he got as big as he could have gotten for then. Yeah. But then again, at the same time, who knows what would have happened if Kane had really had another big record after 89? Because he really never had a huge record after that, right? That was really, I mean, it never really got bigger than Half Steppin' and Smooth Operator. So, I mean, maybe if he drops another huge song in the early 90s, his career is totally different.
He could have even been bigger back then. It's just that Kane is so lyrical. He had his commercial records, but he's a lyrical artist to his heart. You know what I'm saying? So there was certain things Kane might have not did. Because if you kind of compare him with Five MC, it's like what's like the major difference with as far as like looks and things of that nature, like as far as if you think in terms of marketing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dancing, look,
Yeah,
they had all that.
Yep.
But Kane wouldn't do like a Five MC record, but Five MC went platinum, right?
Yeah. Well, no, but Kane he almost did a record like that, didn't he? Didn't he, like on
But it wasn't right.
But it wasn't right. It wasn't for him. That's the thing. It wasn't for him.
It wasn't for him.
Like Heavy D could have records like that too. It just wasn't right for Kane, and that's
right. Yeah, Kane was raw. Ain't no half stepping.
That's Wrath of Kane.
It's Let's Work.
Yeah,
the Teddy Riley
that's
one.
Kane.
Let's Work is Kane.
Huh? Oh no! I said Wrath of Kane is Kane.
Random question. I was talking to my brother earlier who was working at Rawkus he was like an assistant to Jared and Brian, I guess, during your Rawkus days. He said to ask you about Michael Stipe being on your Rawkus album. Do you know about that side?
No, I was there around those days.
But Michael Stipe from R.E.M. was going to be on your album, or was on your album.
He was on it. He actually did a chorus for one of the records on the album.
How did that come together? How did that?
I was working with the producer Nobody at the time, and Nobody knew some chick or whatever that had a link to Michael Stipe, and he just made that happen, through a relationship.
And you were like, I just want to do the most random thing humanly possible and put Michael Stipe on a Cool G Rap record. How did the song turn out?
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't the one that blew me away off the whole album, but I liked it.
How was the whole album? I mean, My Life was... Sife, would you say that My Life got close to really going?
I don't know, because from what I remember, the music was great, but I think that was when he was in his baggage era and couldn't do the stuff he needed to do, right? Like you couldn't.
Were you not able to promote and get out there and do enough that you needed to do?
No, I wasn't really at that time. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I was moving. I think Rawkus just fumbled.
You think it could have happened?
Oh yeah, well that's a whole nother.
That goes without saying.
Oh, wait, you used to come. Wait, you used to come to the office. Did you ever come to Rawkus office?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm starting to remember now.
What?
I think there was some goonage with him when he came to the office.
There's a goon. You're saying there's a G-rap
Goonage.
goonage story.
Yeah, goons.
Plural goons.
There was some.
How is it all coming back to you now?
I remember some kind of security system had to be put into place
Because of G-rap.
G-rap.
So
And I was like, "What's going on here?" And they were like,
So things didn't work out.
It ain't end too well.
It didn't end well. Did you ever see them again?
Never seen them again, but I ain't got nothing against Brad and Jared. You
It's
know?
just it just didn't work.
Just didn't work.
This didn't work. My Life was a good tune though, and you had the fucking first N-Bomb Primo record, which was amazing. The first N remix, which was like one of my favorite songs from that time.
"Oh yeah."
Now, is that a late Primo record you like? Because the scratch samples make sense there. Because all it does is go, Cool G Rap is my name.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It's not. Syph, we've talked about this 1,000 times on this podcast. Syph's obsessed with Primo, but he doesn't like the Primo that goes, living in the city, you know it. It's on. 1, 2.
We getting right tonight. Oh, come down. I like when he had one phrase and he scratched it. Take it personal.
Yes, we know.
Take it per.
But
when
you
he
did
started
like
going-
the G-Rap one.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
G-Rap.
always like the beats.
You should like the hooks.
Yo, living right. Hip hop is.
I love when you do that for some reason. So let's. Is there anything from that?
Wait,
era?
where was? Sorry, just
Go
real
ahead.
quick. Where was Dun 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 dun. What album is that?
That was Live and Let Die. Trackmaster.
Trackmasters. They did the whole album.
No,
Oh, they
Sir
did-
Jinx from California did the whole
Oh
album.
yeah, Sir Jinx.
Wait, did
the
he do this?
Trackmasters.
Did Sir Jinx do this? Ah.
Yeah, that's Trackmasters. And then they had the remix.
Yep.
Or the
Oh,
other
on the
version.
run. No, that's on the
No,
run.
On the Run.
That's on the
Oh
run.
yeah, on the run. Yeah.
This, like this. I'm right in front of my
Riz used to
footsteps, thinking
fucking-
of a plan, looking like Raggedy Ann or throwing hand, kicking a can, thinking of a book to pull some banking.
That's third album?
Yeah. I have a distinct memory of being in the backseat of my parents' car listening to that on a Walkman on a drive back from New York, and it was one of the first times I remember listening to hip hop and really doing visual imaging because the storytelling.
Yeah.
What was the process like for writing music like that? That was like On the Run, for example. That's a great example where you're telling the story that feels really real of, I'm guessing, a level of crime that was probably above the notch of crime that you were dealing with in your life. Like you were in the streets, but you were talking about fucking kingpin type shit. So where do you go creatively to do that? What's the process like for music like that?
Oh, that's just everything you absorb. You know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of your street life, your street experience, combination of the movie, your favorite movies, and imagination, all working together to make something like On the Run.
Eric B.
What do you mean?
Just Eric B. sprinkled in there.
Just sprinkle a little Eric B. Who is your favorite director?
Wow. Scorsese's definitely, but I can't, like, it's like saying the favorite rapper. It's like, it ain't one.
Is there a handful?
Sergio Leone
Really?
for doing Once Upon a Time in America and Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Once Upon a Time in America is the Jewish crime one
Jewish
with De Niro.
Mafia.
Yeah, that movie's long as shit.
It's good though.
It's
like,
crazy.
I've never seen it, and it's Jewish crime, and I've never even
it's
seen
Jewish,
it.
like
What,
mafia.
is it about Lansky, or is it made up?
No,
Yeah, it's not
Brooklyn
it's
shit,
not
right?
really about real characters, but it's about shit that happened.
Brooklyn.
You know what I mean?
70s.
Jewish mafia,
Yeah.
basically, without it depicting any real character.
Violent too.
Some violence, but not
Why
over the
are we never getting it in?
Nah, you know.
We weren't bodying anyone though.
Goodfellas for that.
I know, but that's Italians. I want the Jews to be bodying someone. I mean, we never always on some.
Watch the Mobsters movie, right?
No, just watch a.
Absolutely,
A movie
Mobsters.
called Mobsters.
Necro, are you Jewish?
Yeah.
See, I should just watch a movie.
Russian? Is it Russian?
I'm a Jewish gangster.
Yeah, I was about to say I could just watch a documentary about Necro and Ill Bill, but that's different. That's different. That's modern gangsters. So wait, okay, we already did top 10 favorite rappers. What about, if you can, 5 of your favorite gangster movies of all time? 5.
Scarface automatically.
I mean, it goes without saying.
Duh.
Godfather. Part 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Okay.
Goodfellas. Mobsters. You said it.
You know?
I love Casino.
Absolutely.
Casino's fucking
What's
awesome.
Mobsters? I don't know that movie.
Mobsters with
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater and that dude from 21
Patrick.
Jump Street, Greco, Schmeckel.
Richard Grieco?
Yeah, him.
Patrick Dempsey, right?
Wow, really?
Yeah, Patrick
I
Dempsey
remember.
too.
I remember hearing. I
It was
remember seeing
it was actually real gully, that movie.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, I'm about to Netflix that.
It's just
Omar and Scarface was in there as Arnold Rothstein.
Oh, and Rothstein's in it?
yeah. Al Israel, FM Bradbury.
Wait, is it
FM
Maya
Bradley?
Lansky?
That's the porn dude.
So it's about Meyer
and
Lansky and Rothstein
Yeah. It's Lansky. Patrick Dempsey plays Lansky.
and Luciano.
That's why you might have fronted on the movie, because Patrick Dempsey was a cornball back then.
right,
And now he's playing Lansky, and you're kind of like, get the fuck out of here.
but it's pretty
But
good.
You watch it, yeah, it's hot.
So it's like after Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, do you watch Boardwalk Empire?
Love it.
I'm about to say, you're into it? You caught up right now?
Caught up right now.
Yeah, this shit's amazing.
Oh, so
man.
Rothstein and all that. I gotta watch that.
That's fucking awesome.
So
Show's
refreshing,
official.
right?
Oh man, Boardwalk is the best. I think it's only gotten better. I think literally Boardwalk, so far to me, every season has been better. I
Absolutely.
thought the first one was a great but a little slow. Second one,
You like the new season as good as all the other shit?
I like this
Oh, a
season.
little bit now, right?
I don't know. I really
Yeah, well, I
like
don't watch
this
it like
season.
that.
I like everything about it, but
If you're gonna get really picky, right?
Yeah.
But no, even getting really picky. Okay, I loved last season because I thought my boy Bobby Cannavale was just unbelievable.
What was it?
Bobby Cannavale,
Before that?
my boy,
Oh.
my homie,
That's his new first name. My boy is really his first name.
my
And then
boy,
Bobby
Boy,
Cannavale.
Bobby Cannavale.
acts in the show.
What'd you say?
Your boy is in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was
was,
Jip Rossetti.
Jip Rossetti's dope.
So Jip Rossetti was
Yeah.
that guy was my next door neighbor in my old building.
He was a real prick in that.
When I moved in, I had no idea who he was. Got to know him as he was popping, and then he's like, "Yo, I just scored a part in Boardwalk Empire," and then the show starts.
He
and
killed it.
The
He killed
first
it.
scene, I mean, literally killed it. He killed everything in sight. You know what I'm saying? So then I thought that the reason I thought he made that season amazing is because he added that character that was totally unpredictable and like scary at all times. Like you remember, I compare it to sort of in Sopranos, what's his face got out of jail.
Dude from Scarface.
Richie, when
Lopez?
Richie Aprile
Him, that
came out,
scumbag, Yeah.
and Richie would just body anyone for he's like Joe Pesci, like that character that's such a fucking
good.
wild card.
He was good.
So anyways, but I think this season's great, and I love
Good.
I love the new black dude on the show, Dr. What's
Dude
his
that
face?
played Muddy Waters in Cadillac.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
he's another twist that
Fuck
makes
is his name?
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
Wright's
Wright.
an amazing actor.
he's fucking phenomenal. So yeah, I'm pretty into it. You watch any other shows? Do you watch Breaking Bad?
Nah, I'm not. I kind of got into Sons of Anarchy too.
I haven't
That's the
done.
shit.
Is it awesome?
Yeah.
Maybe I should give
You
it
never
another look.
watched it?
I watched one episode at the gym once, and I was like, I don't know about this.
Sleeping on Sons of Anarchy?
I slept. Cypher, you still into it? I thought you started it.
Yeah. I missed the last season, so I'm not on this one.
Yeah, the first episodes too was
It's
like
hype. I mean,
real hot.
Charlie Hunnam used to be on Queer as Folk when he was a little kid, so it's a little weird if you know that.
The
didn't know that.
juxtapitation.
Kinda hard. Yeah, he was in.
I
Queer as-
thought that was like his first thing. So he
he
came
was
from
making
Muslim.
out with dudes and like his first
Okay,
job.
all right.
And then you see him as a gangster, you might be a little bit like, okay,
Going off.
but he pulls it off though.
Yo, well, fuck.
Oh yeah, he definitely pulls it. Off.
But Dexter,
Love Dexter.
super gay on 6 Feet Under. He was the gay character
yeah,
on 6
I
Feet
remember
Under.
finding that out after loving Dexter.
And I've
Like,
only seen 6 Feet, and I love 6 Feet Under.
never saw.
Oh, was
6
he a
Feet
Never
cop?
seen Dexter.
But Dexter's you never saw Dexter, G?
I never.
I try to put G up on shit because I told you about Sons of Anarchy.
Told me about Dexter.
Dexter's
Yeah,
off the
Son of-
fucking
Son of
hook.
Anarchy.
A lot of ill shows. TV murders fucking movies now.
I finally saw it written yesterday in an article. I've been saying it, and I was on Grantland yesterday, and I saw an article that said it, that, this is the golden age of television.
Yeah.
Of true television.
Cinematic.
Do you know why?
What's your opinion?
Why?
Well, the main reason is because back in the 80s when they had Tango and Cash and all that hot shit, there was a bunch of movie fucking studios, and there was only HBO and Showtime. So you were very limited to what you could get TV-wise, and everyone had creativity for movies. But now, there's only like 3 fucking film studios.
And tons of
So they
television.
only want to do the blockbuster that's going to make them money. They don't want to. They got rid of all their indie departments. So now,
Now
TV,
it's better.
there's 100
Now
TV
it's like
companies.
instead of a 2-hour movie, you're getting a fucking 8-hour movie.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
16-hour
Each
movie.
episode is fire.
Yeah,
It'll lead you to the next
especially if
one.
you watch them on Netflix
row?
or HBO back to back. You're getting a fucking 18-hour movie.
I watched Criminal Minds 160 episodes in a fucking row. Shit is so Criminal Minds?
Yes.
Is
Criminal
that
Minds
not
that
the
good?
awesome show?
Sick.
But that's just straight crime drama, right?
Nah, that show is gully.
Some profiling.
But does it have characters the way...
Yeah, and it has killing and fucking everything you
Yeah.
want.
I mean, there's some Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore is dope.
No, he's
Younger Than
corny.
Restless?
He's corny, but he's dope on Criminal Minds. But there's certain parts you're like, he's there for like the sexy factor.
Yeah, but he was
'Cause it's a
corny though
network-
with Young and the Restless.
But imagine Criminal Minds on FX,
Or
where they
somewhere
didn't
on-
have to do the sexy Channel 2 CBS mainstream.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine it was iller.
But it's a dark show though.
Yo,
as
it's
it is,
dark.
though.
Yeah, it's
dark
dark.
as it is.
But imagine it was on fucking FX or like or AMC or even HBO.
like Walking Dead.
I do.
Walking Dead's gully. I told you about that too, Jay.
Yep.
You ain't
But
fucking
here's the
with
thing. But if G-Rap has to choose one show to add that he hasn't seen, you have Netflix?
Yep.
I say you go home today, whenever you chill, and just start Breaking Bad Season 1, Episode 1. You will never regret that.
I slept on Breaking Bad and then watched it. Awesome.
It's fucking phenomenal.
Fucking awesome.
Like you'll never regret
Out of these
that.
shows, you sleep on them. You
I'm
watch.
gonna check it just because of that.
No, it's
You said
Breaking
so.
Bad is.
No, I remember because
fun.
Mad Men was hot, right? And I was like, I don't watch Breaking Bad. I watch Mad Men. And they were like, yo, you need to watch Breaking Bad.
Mad
I
Men's-
started watching, I was like, oh, shit.
You got to give these shows a chance because they're so fucking. They last so long. If you don't watch 3 or 4,
Right.
you might
You won't
sleep
even
on
get it,
episode.
yeah.
I slept on Walking Dead the first episode.
Me
I was
too.
like,
I slept on the first season until 2 seasons.
then I gave it a chance and it was amazing. Blew me away. I mean, like,
Yo, now hold on. Before we go totally left field, and I want to talk before you guys dip. I want to get to talk about what you're doing now.
We're in left field.
please
No,
do.
we're already in the left
In the
field.
parking lot.
So I'm gonna just come
Please
back
do.
in from the parking lot.
Nothing, no more G-Rap.
What'd you say?
Nothing that we need to know.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
then.
What was? Did you do a big? What was the biggest tour you were on? Were you ever on one of the bigger arena tours?
Only one big tour, and it was with Ice Cube. But then I got sick and had to pull out the tour.
What was the tour? What year are we talking around?
This had to be 94, something like that. 93, 94.
So this is after. This is between Live and Let Die
Right.
and Road to and 456.
4, 5, 6. Exactly, in between that time.
They went on tour. Well, what kind of sick?
I don't know. I just got like some kind of crazy cold. I couldn't recover,
Really?
and it was making me lose my voice on stage and all that.
Shit.
There was never a big Juice Crew tour.
Shows.
No, there was shows. There was dates lined up, but nothing like 30 cities,
Right.
40
No tour
cities.
bus, big tour.
Nah, not to the level which I know you're talking about.
Fresh Fest type shit you talking?
Yeah, like the really
Even
big
Fresh
shit.
Fest wasn't like how many shows was Fresh Fest?
I don't know how many. I think it was all the major cities.
What, maybe 10 shows?
At least. I think 10 to 20 shows. 25. What's the record what's the Kane record that they just came out with a version, like we only found the version with G-Rap on it like 2 years ago? Was it Raw?
Or the Raw.
Raw remix?
That was a freestyle. That was just a freestyle.
Literally a freestyle?
Literally a freestyle. I went to Marley House one day and King was over there, and King was doing the freestyle over Raw, and then King was like, "Yo, G, throw something on this." I just threw something on it.
So you just jump on and spit, just willy-nilly rapping.
Just had wrote a long ass rap verse, like maybe a week before this time, just in case for shit like this.
And then nothing happened with it at the time?
Marley had played it on the radio. He was playing on the radio, but it never leaked on no records or nothing like that. So it was like some real special type of thing, like having an old Cold Crush 4 tape from back in the days or something.
And then that's one of the best things about the internet. There's a lot of shit I hate about the internet. Getting things like that I love. Because a couple years ago that came out and now everyone has it and it's awesome.
I was wondering. I saw it like a month ago or something.
Oh yeah, it's around now.
I didn't even listen to it because I said it got to be some bullshit.
Nope, it's the real. It's him going in. It's him going in for a long time.
Listen to it.
Did they cut your verse on Symphony?
Yeah.
Why'd they disrespect God? You want me to talk to Marley about this? I don't know if y'all cleared it up yet.
That verse was super long. This is back in the days when I write, I would write. I had no structure as far as thinking about records and none of that. I was just writing, just a massacre shit. And the verse on Symphony was actually attached to the first verse on Men at Work. So I spit that whole shit.
And they were like, "Hey, G-Rap, I don't know if you noticed.
Tape
trying
rolled
to
off the reel.
Yeah, we're trying to get
Literally.
everyone on the tape. Literally rolled off the reel.
Literally.
They were like, "Hey, G-Rap, we're trying to have everyone on this song."
we need Kane on this.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the Symphony means it's supposed to be everyone.
Oh, Kane wasn't at the video, right?
Nah, Kane was not.
He came like he had to shoot a different part of some shit.
Right.
The one with the bitches in it.
Hey, G-Rap, random question. You don't happen to have any of your old 45s laying around, do you? 7-inch records of your original stuff? You don't happen to have any? If you find any around the house, will you let me know?
I ain't that old, baby.
No, they're 45s of your stuff. I got the Symphony. I have the Symphony 45.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure, I don't know what exists for you on 45, but I bet one of the first ones exists. These random countries.
That's new to me, baby.
Yeah, these random countries in Europe would just press up the 45. Yeah. I found Symphony the other day.
7
Yeah,
inches.
it's like
is
a-
what they do.
Had to be a European import.
The set
right?
this now no,
7 inches is the same thing.
what?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 7-inch for the Symphony is a U.S. promo. Sometimes they just came out in other countries, but it's weird. Cold Chillin' did a lot of them for some reason, but no one like got them. You know what? Maybe Marley does. I don't have to bother. We probably used to have them up here from Kiss back in the day because they were really made for radio play or jukeboxes. That was it.
They definitely were around.
So is there anything else? Any other stories? Anything that you have an opportunity now when we're telling your story that you've just felt like you've always wanted to say or get off your chest? G-Rap, I mean, we'll have you back anytime. No, we're not asking about the bullshit. No. Not about that. Not about the bullshit.
rap.
You have your own Hot 97 stories that people can go
Because there
find.
are some. You went through a crazy period, G-Rap.
G-Rap, did you have a crazy period? Did you have a period where you said it was a little crazy for you?
Crazy, yeah. I don't think it's nothing out of the norms. You know what I'm saying? Like shit that other people ain't go through.
Life shit.
Yeah, life shit.
But you had a rough spot.
Yeah.
Post the run, like what,
Even the,
late 90s,
Mid 90s.
4, 5, 6 time?
Yeah.
Is there a time when you wouldn't have wanted to run into G-Rap on the street? Is there a time when, like, probably when you could easily not have a bad experience if you ran into G-Rap?
it's raucous.
No, it was never a time like that unless somebody did something, like you violated.
But always approachable as far as fans go and stuff like that.
Always approachable, cause yeah.
Have you
Earth dude.
heard
Bottom
this?
line.
Have you heard the story about you shooting a video in Bronson's father's restaurant?
No.
That is a true story. You've met Bronson, right?
Yeah, I think Bronson did mention that to me though.
Yeah, it was like the best moment of his life.
Yeah,
How old was he at
Bronson
the
did
time?
mention
Like a
that to me.
kid?
I think Bronson was a teenager or younger even.
Yeah, I just did something with Bronson recently.
Yeah, you did a record for Tony Touch's album, I think.
This is something for Bronson's album.
Oh, another joint.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I think who else he's supposed to have?
Bronson's only rapping to one day get a Cool G-Rap record.
Yeah.
So after that record,
he just retired.
Yeah.
No, but he was a kid, and his dad was like, "They're shooting a video in our restaurant," and he goes out there, and it was probably all 4, 5, 6. I don't remember which
video?
was. I don't remember. I mean, let's call him.
G doesn't remember.
I'm gonna call Bronson right now.
Remember?
No, I don't remember. At
I've been to a lot of restaurants.
all. Pretty much.
Well, you would remember the one you did a video in, huh?
I wouldn't even remember that. That had to be so many years ago, man.
Bronson's in America right now. He will give us an answer to this right away. Let's see. I need to get
An
answers.
international ring.
It's not.
good.
It is or it's not.
It's not.
No, it sounds like it's America.
Yeah.
Hey Bronson, we're doing a podcast with the one and only Cool G Rap right now.
What up?
So,
Hello.
Yo, Bronson.
What's going on?
Yo, real quick, we're telling the story about when he was shooting a video in your dad's restaurant. Do you remember what video that was?
Nah. I told him, man. When I seen him not too long ago, I told him.
Which?
A while back, my father told me, yo, I'm having this rap guy come to the restaurant. He's gonna shoot a video, LL Cool J. And I fucking show up. I show up there and I fucking see Fat Joe. I see MOP. And I see this fucking guy in this fucking black leather outfit, with the sleeves cut off. And I was like, yo, that's the God right there. I almost shit my pants.
Do you remember what song it was?
Yeah, all of my life I live.
Oh, it was the My Life video.
You know?
Yo, Bronson, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You never let us down.
That's the Lord right there. Thanks, Peter. Mahalo.
All right, peace. That's Action Bronson, ladies and gentlemen. Always there, ready for a story. That is one of the best dudes. Queens, man. Tell you what, Queens is all right.
I love that dude, man.
I know. He's great. And another guy who just, utterly looks up to you.
And Bronson's nice.
Yeah, Bronson's
Nice.
Bronson's pretty
get
good.
busy.
How was your relationship with LL back in the day?
Me and L was cool. Me and L was.
Nori just texted me. Let's call Nori.
What did Nori say?
Just said hello.
Then yes, he deserves a phone call. Wait, so LL was cool with you though?
Yeah. Me and L had a mutual homie, Dr. Butcher. So me and L linked on account of me and Dr. Butcher being around each other, and me and L linked a couple of times.
Ever do it? Did you guys do a record or no?
Never did.
There was never a record, right? Syfe, you calling him?
Wait, weren't you on that record, the Queen's record?
But I actually
50
met
Cent?
L before. He
Oh, that's right.
Weren't you on that record with 50 Cent and Queens?
Oh, yeah, the Queen's record. That's right.
Later.
L was on it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his voicemail.
Voicemail. I thought he was fucking around.
Holly, yeah, no, you believe that from Nori. What have you done a record with Nori too?
Done a record with Nori, 40
Island.
Allen.
Oh, that's right. Did a record with Nori way back. So hey, real quick, if we remember anything else, we'll do it. I mean, it's like it's so hard because we have G Rap here, so it's like I want to get to everything possible. We can have you back. You guys are dropping an album in November.
That's right.
How did you come to work with this crazy Jewish lunatic? How did this project come together?
DecRo reached out. Well, his peoples reached out to one of my peoples.
One of my fans, basically a hardcore fan, was real cool with Domingo, and Domingo's his partner. They're real tight.
Domingo, the producer?
Yeah, Domingo, the producer. So, just long story short, we had a sit down in Queens over Hennessy,
Obviously.
and see, a lot of people work with G-Rap before, but I said, if I work with G-Rap, I don't want it to just be a track. I don't want to just do it, the fucking track, do a track with G-Rap. Everybody does that. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, the only time I'll ever work with G-Rap is when G knows who I am, and it's respectful, and I could do a whole project with him.
Like you didn't want him to do you a favor record. You wanted him to actually want to do work.
I'll give you an example. I'm not going to mention names, but back in the day, he did records with certain people. One time he's being interviewed and somebody asks him, what about that record you did with so-and-so? And G said, who? Right. That was in like 2002. I was like, I'm not trying to do a record with anyone who don't respect me.
Right. If he
Which is
doesn't know.
why I don't work with a lot of people, which is why
But it
took
wasn't that I
13.
didn't respect the cats he talking about. It's just that I was doing so many features at the time.
Right, that it was just something you were doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a disrespect. It was just not a focus.
Well,
Just didn't know.
Yeah, but he's saying, but his point is relevant.
Whether it
'cause,
would have
like,
been personal or
right
not.
now, there's no way you would forget Necro's name. You know what I'm
not.
saying? Like,
Well, it took 13 years of putting in work to get to the point. Well, it took 11 because we linked up in 2011. So when I finally kicked it with G, he already knew who I was. He was hearing my name get mentioned through YouTube. People would write, yo, Necro's similar to you and vice versa. And he was hearing shit and he knew who I was. And bottom line, when I talk to people, if I'm going to work with them, I try to do it from a street perspective. Like the first time I'll have the conversation, I don't like to do it on some fake business shit. Like I'm paying you money and you're working with me and that's it. I don't work with people like that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to work with you, let it be respect. So we clicked. When we clicked, we got along. A lot of things with me and G that's similar is the way we view shit in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see eye to eye on women, on fucking the industry, on how to do things. So, you know, when we was going to do an EP, when he heard the first verse I gave him, he was like, you blew that shit out. Word for word, he's like, you blew a hole through the motherfucker. So I was like, okay, you know, G liked the first thing I sent him. You know what I mean? And I made it clear to G, he has to approve everything. If you don't like something, I'll change it. Like, you know, give him that respect. Like, not like, oh, you don't want me to Not one verse that I sent G that he had a problem with.
Nah, he was just leaving bodies. Like, trail of bodies behind him.
It led from the EP to G just being down to just make it an LP. And we literally recorded 16 songs. And if you look at G's career...
You produced all of it?
I produced the whole album, every beat. And G's never done more than 2 songs with anybody in the game, ever. So for me, just, you know, for me, it's a fucking honor. You know what I mean? I'm not gassed up or anything.
Was he your hero? Was he your favorite growing up?
G's an idol to me, yeah. G's an idol to me. I mean, I'm actually one of the first rappers in underground hip-hop that constantly big G up. Before all other people you might think.
Before it became trendy to big him up.
It's actually very trendy to say that. Even though it's not a wrong thing.
Right, it's still a trendy
I'm one
thing.
of the first ones. I'm talking going back to 99, 98.
I became cliche.
You become cliche. Everyone likes G-rap.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like the same thing with Primo. I'm one of the first dudes in the underground that producers that was bigging Primo up. Saying like, you go back to first Necro interviews, and I was saying, yeah, Primo's a big influence. Primo, Large Pro, Pete Rock, them. Then everybody now all of a sudden, Primo and fucking Large Pro and all them.
Well, they became the names of that era. Rightfully so, but yes, it became easy to say.
Yeah.
It became an easy
When
answer.
I was saying it, it wasn't because it was a trend.
It was just because who you were.
It's true.
So, Syph, how crazy is Necro? And I don't mean musically talented. I mean, I'm talking about actual insanity.
Okay.
With Ill Bill being a 10 and Riz being a 3.
Necro's 97.
Crazier than Ill Bill.
You're crazier than Bill? I was
Ill Bill's
guessing.
a sane one. No, but
Well, crazy depends. There's all different levels of crazy. If you're talking about in drama, yeah, me and my brother are equals. If you're talking about
drama, what do you mean
like
drama?
if we got drama with
Oh, you
somebody,
got drama, yeah.
like
And
we
you're
get-
both lunatics.
not lunatics. We regulate.
So that sounds close to lunatic.
But my brother's more politically correct. I'm not correct.
You'll just go out there. I'll tell you this.
I just
He's
do
just
what the
he's Brooklyn.
I just do what the fuck I want, and you know, period. You know, like, you know, I'm not really, you know, I don't want to sound cliche. You know what I mean? I'm not industry.
But you're not
more
industry.
in the streets.
You're in the streets. You're not. You're an industry.
He's
You're
a
not an
new-
industry chick. You're an industry chick.
I'm hood mentality.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think of things in terms of fucking the corner.
He's super Brooklyn.
Listen. You know, I was gonna take Syph to the side and just talk to him before. You know what I mean? But I'll just do it here. You know what I mean? I wanted to apologize.
I can't. This is the best thing ever. Shut up, Syph. Go ahead.
I wanted to apologize for doing what I did in the club that time, for knocking your needle off at 12 o'clock when the whole crowd was packed because he wouldn't play Shook Ones.
Oh, that's not why.
What
Because
happened?
he wouldn't play Shook Ones.
What's that?
And I kept asking you to play Shook Ones, and you were like, no.
Nope. I'll tell you what it was. It's partly
But
that.
I want to apologize, though.
I think you've
because-
already apologized.
Nah, because I heard from people, it's like, Cypher's still mad at you from years ago.
Never was
And
mad.
I was like,
I'm not mad at
So you
nobody.
accept his apology.
Yes, of course.
I'm
I was
serious,
never
though,
mad.
because I
appreciate
thought that was immature
Yeah,
of me,
that's
but I
not-
was very young.
All right, now I want to
I'll
hear the
tell you what
story.
it
Though.
was,
What
though.
happened?
We were in Limelight. Was it Limelight?
Limelight with DJ
Limelight.
Riz, the hip-hop room.
That's the first club I ever DJed. He let me open up for him. And the manager at the time was Mike, who's Ghostface manager now.
Oh,
Lord
wow.
Mike. Back in the day, that's why me and him are so tight. And he kept asking me to play Shook Ones. I'm like, Riz plays that. Like, that's like a more of a hit record for that time in
I
the
can't
room.
play that.
Yes, early. Then I played the Fugees. And Lauren had just said something about she didn't like white people or something. And Necro came up and said, smacked the needle off the record and said, don't play no fucking Fugees. That bitch don't like white people.
I won't deny that. I was very,
You heard it at the time.
I'm very proud of fucking who I am. And I stand very firm against racism.
So you were hurt. You were hurt at the time, and you smacked Syph's needle.
I don't remember that, but he knows better than
Yes,
me. You know something? I apologize for that. That was fucked up. I
It's
shouldn't
no
have did
problem.
That was
but
immature
I
of
don't.
me.
Who cares? We were immature. We were young.
I was
what,
a young
19?
fuck, man. I was trying to get pussy in Limelight. I did. I used to bag.
No, but
Do you consider yourself? But you're Jewish.
So
You take yourself offended by full. I don't really get offended by white things. I only get offended by Jew things.
it might have been. It might have been.
No, she didn't say anything about
you got to
Jews.
understand how
She
hard
said
it
white,
is
right?
being white in hip hop and from New York.
Well, our situation's different though because
You
you,
know,
are
I
not the
dealt-
kind of Jew I am. You are from a different. You guys are actually like street. You're
I
from
grew
a
up in
different
the
world.
projects, Glenwood Projects, Brooklyn.
Yeah. See, it's
You know
not
what I
the
mean?
same. Like,
5714 Farragut Road, Apartment 2C.
where do you guys come from?
We're aliens.
No, it really is amazing.
No,
aliens.
they're in New York.
No, in New York, you have to understand. For my
There's
life,
very few that were like me and
But
my
listen,
brother.
listen. You have to hear this though. For me growing up, and my brother and I always said this, the second we heard about nonfiction, starting with that nonfiction, the beginning, we were like, these are Jews, and we said this in a positive way. I'm not saying this in a diss way, who are nothing like us. Like, y'all are actual ethnic minorities. Like, I basically lived a white life as a suburban Jewish guy. My friends were of all, y'all were in the hood, street dudes. Like,
Hanging
that's just,
out.
yeah, it's just not.
Getting into a lot of fucking problems.
So
man.
you literally grew up in the projects? How many?
I couldn't go to the store without fucking getting into beef with Deceps.
Why were you a lowhead or something? What were you?
No, it was just when you're white. It was the 80s.
Just being a white boy.
It was drama. I used to get surrounded by 8, 10 kids at once and have to fight all of them.
So did you have were there like black kids who had your back?
Well, you see what happens is the one thing, well, I always say I'm against ignorance and racism and shit like that. I say that when you're a child, you're not racist. Racism is taught to you.
Absolutely.
So I used to have all my young friends were black kids in the projects. But a lot of the parents on both sides were racist. White parents would be like, why are you messing with that N? Black parents would be like, why are you messing with that honky? And it was very ignorant. You know what I mean? And I dealt with that bullshit. But see, when you love hip hop, your idols are black, especially at that point. Like, I didn't sweat fucking Beastie Boys.
You sweated the black rappers. You sweated the rap.
I sweated who was good.
Right.
I sweated G-Rap, Rakim, KRS, Big Daddy Kane. They're the big four. Like, in heavy metal, Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, G-Rap, Kane, Rakim, KRS. Them four right there.
That's a really good way.
There's a lot of other groups that we liked. I'm influenced by Tribe Called Quest. I'm influenced by Gangstar. When they first dropped I Manifest. You know what I mean? I go back. You know what I mean? Like to the beginning of that, but I'm younger. Remember, G-Rap's 8 years older than me. So my first hip hop, you know what I mean? It was different than his shit. But,
So what did your parents do?
my parents?
Yeah.
My father is an Israeli from Israel. Came here as an Israeli soldier, straight from, a killer. Already had bodies. So it's a real attitude problem. And went
Catching bodies does them.
And went immediately to start working by Knickerbocker as managing the VIM warehouse in Knickerbocker in Bushwick.
But he had so he knew somebody that he came here
It's
for
an
that
Israeli
job.
thing, the clothing business.
Right.
So
Or moving company.
Well, for my father, it was always clothing. So, when you're a real tough guy that can move those boxes there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Hammer down.
And that was my father, you know what I mean? My father's the type that, would get into beef in Burger King with the people behind the counter if they didn't deliver the food fast enough. Like, start barking. Like, is this fast food or what? I want my shit. I'm like, chill. Then we go sit down and he eats my food. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and sees me crying because he just ate my food. Like, throw a $20 bill at me like I'm fucking a piece of shit. That's my father. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
and Mom Dukes is a religious Jew.
really?
Yeah, a totally religious Jew, totally sensitive. That's why I'm a sensitive thug.
No, this
Like
I used to
Tupac.
go with Riz, right? I used to drive from Long Island, pick up Riz in a 82 orange rusty Honda Prelude with a tape deck. He's like, we used to go to clubs like Friday, Saturday nights. He's like, yo, we got to pick up Necro. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Why? It's gonna be crazy town.
Cypher was cool. I'm gonna Cypher, don't front.
No,
You said at one point that I was your favorite rapper.
oh, he was ill. He's sick. But
At one
the
point.
reason why he was my favorite rapper is from Canarsie, Brooklyn to whatever Palladium, 14th Street, Limelight, 20th Street. His beats and him rapping
The whole way.
the entire time.
But 4-track
Like,
raps,
yo.
like me fucking everything up, but drop, like not like recordings, like
No,
me
you just
rapping
rap.
on the crib over my own shit, but then like doing songs.
No,
and
then
singing in
and then
between.
rapping along with it, and then the beats were like like these David Axelrod samples, like the illest, weirdest, sickest Clockwork Orange beats. Where like I'm like, yo, let's put Flex on. Like it's Friday night, you know, like Flex on the radio. We going to a club. And then sick rhymes about doing things to women that was not
Crazy Town.
yeah, crazy raps.
So guys, what's the day on this album?
November 19th.
November 19th. What's the
Want to
album
talk about
called?
the album?
Godfathers.
Tell you about
Once
the
upon a
album,
time.
actually?
Well, now I just got called into a meeting with our bosses.
Oh, well, we have to do that Scandinavian thing.
And we have to do the Scandinavian thing. Hold on. I watched the video yesterday.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, the video is mad ghetto
I
and awesome.
directed it.
Yeah, of course. And the song's fucking hot.
Thank you.
Are you?
Appreciate
Have you guys seen or thought about the success of? I'm sure it wasn't the reason you had the idea, but it popped into my head. The Killer Mike LP success they've had. You know, they're two guys who've had good careers. No one as big as G-Rap's career, but it sort of totally rejuvenated them and put them in like a really critically acclaimed space. I don't know. I saw that yesterday and I was like, I could sort of see this kind of working out and giving you guys a new run. You know what I'm saying? Like people are now going to think.
I think we have a little different audience. I think
you will have a different audience for sure.
No, because you know, I don't even the people you're mentioning, he might not know who they are.
You know Killer Mike and LP?
No.
You know Killer Mike.
I know Killer Mike. Oh, Killer Mike.
Yeah, but I don't think he's, LP, he probably doesn't know. Like, he's not familiar.
If you say Killer Mike by himself, then yeah.
He's not familiar with underground.
With
shit
LP,
like that.
right. LP was using Company Flow.
It's a different fan base, basically. I got my own fan base. A Necro fan base is its own fucking thing. G is G. So
G's the legend.
We're just reaching whoever likes what we like. The beauty of it is social networks. We reach our fans. You know what I mean? But it's beautiful that we could come up here today, and hopefully some new people will check it. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever's listening that might not know that we're dropping that. And in general,
Absolutely.
like we're direct to our fans. That's the future now. That's what
And you guys can go out and do a lot of shows, I'm guessing, too?
we can body it on shows.
Are you gonna get on the road?
if G wants to?
We're going to definitely do that.
You up for it?
Probably this year.
Yep.
How many kids you got, G?
4.
4 kids? Are they grown?
3 sons, 1 daughter.
Everyone grown up?
Nah, my daughter's be 3 December.
Oh, you got one little one, huh?
Got a little one.
Getting it in.
She's been getting it in for a long time.
He got Kid G Rap.
Yeah. So the date on the album one more time?
November 19th.
November 19th.
Everywhere.
Called The Godfathers. Once
That's our
Upon a
group.
Crime.
And that name of the album is Once Upon a Crime, like G said. And it's 16 tracks of us gunning back and forth. I produced the whole record.
You rap on every song? Are there any G-Rap solo, or do you go jump in every time?
It's a group.
Or is there ever time? Isn't that hard?
I'm sure there's some people. Basically, here's the beauty of this record. You'll get to hear it, and you let me know if you think I held my own.
You're goddamn right I'm going to get to hear it because I want to get a clean version of it for myself. Can you make it clean?
I'll do it for you.
I know it'll be annoying, but I'd like to get to choose.
Will not be
joints.
annoying for you.
All right, let's do it.
I'll get you that.
G-Rap, this has been a real honor for us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Real pleasure. We probably might at some point need to do another one. Yo, Syph, one day, now that we're moving at one volume,
We are moving at one volume.
what if one day we did a full, like, as full as we could, Juice Crew one ep? With just
Get them in the same place.
like at least a few of them.
We need an admin person.
Well, G-Rap's around, though.
We need a girl that works for us that does all of this administration stuff.
I could get someone like, get that.
Because that's getting a venue with all. It's not that bad, but when me and him do it,
Disaster.
it's shit, miss.
So you mean we should do a Juan Epstein in person with Juice Crew, and then they like perform some songs too?
That'd be insane.
That would be pretty great. Pretty good for hip hop. You do that? You guys all cool, right?
Yeah.
No beef?
Nah, ain't no beef. Nah.
Nobody?
But
I'm just making sure I never heard anything,
For
but-
myself, though. You know what I'm saying? There's
Well, who don't like you?
no, not saying they got problems with me, but there's beef amongst members. You know what I mean? But
No, we'll do that. We'll
Nothing
fix
with
that.
We can fix that up.
We'll fix that.
I heard it's Roxanne Shante and Craig G.
I doubt if you can fix that.
Goes a little old.
Some people.
Oh, that's
will
a real
not.
beef.
There is no. I made
I
that one
mean,
up.
It's just that people won't rock with each other at all.
No, we can fix that.
No one's mad at Biz. That's impossible.
Listen,
right?
I'm good at this.
You can work this out.
Yeah.
You talk to Biz still?
Yeah, Biz my dude. That's
Biz
my
is the
dude
best.
Right there. His cousin Cool V.
Biz is among the nicest guys in rap.
And he's the leader of the hip hop United Nations.
He really.
Everyone loves Biz.
Everyone loves Biz. He is a
Gotta
national.
love Biz.
He's a national treasure. Cool G Rap, Necro, album coming in November. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Sir.
Appreciate it.